Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a marketing manager here in Denver, and I've always been the one who holds our family together. But Christmas Eve morning, I woke up to 103 missed calls and realized my family had just shown me exactly what I meant to them. Nothing more than a walking ATM. Let me paint you the picture. 17 people, 4 cars, 1 group chat. And guess who wasn't in it? That's right, me. The person who had just dropped $15,500 on what was supposed to be our magical family Christmas vacation in Aspen. What would you do if your family treated you like their personal bank account and then just forgot you existed? I need you to understand something. This wasn't some last-minute trip. We'd been planning this for months. Every Sunday dinner, every family gathering, it was all anyone could talk about. Sarah, can you check if the resort has availability for Christmas week? Sarah, your credit score is the best. Can you book everything? Sarah, you know how tight money is for everyone right now, but we'll totally pay you back. Of course they would. They always did, right? Except they never actually did. So there I was, Christmas Eve morning, 6:30 a.m., staring at my phone screen like it might start making sense if I just looked hard enough. 103 missed calls. The notifications kept scrolling. Mom, Dad, my brother Jake, my sister Emma, cousins, aunts, uncles. Even my 80-year-old grandmother had called me 4 times. My heart was pounding. I thought someone had died. I thought there'd been an accident. I called Mom back immediately. Sarah, thank God, we've been trying to reach you for hours. Mom, what's wrong? Is everyone okay? Did something happen? There was this pause. This weird, guilty pause that I should have recognized as the sound of someone who'd been caught. Well, honey, we're at the resort. I blinked. What do you mean you're at the resort? We're in Aspen, sweetheart. We got here last night. The words hit me like ice water. You're... what? But I thought we were all driving up together today. Another pause. Longer this time. Well, we decided to leave early. You know how you hate driving in the snow, and we didn't want you to feel pressured. I sat there in my pajamas, in my empty apartment, holding the phone, trying to process what she was telling me. Mom, you're telling me that 17 people in 4 cars all decided to leave for our family vacation without me? Now, don't be dramatic, Sarah. We just thought, without telling me? We did tell you. We sent messages to the group chat. And that's when it hit me. What group chat, Mom? Silence. Mom, what group chat are you talking about? The family vacation chat. We've been planning everything there. I was already pulling up my messages, scrolling through every group conversation I was part of. There was the main family group, 37 people including all the extended relatives. There was the sibling chat with just Jake, Emma, and me. There was even the cousins group where we shared memes and complained about our parents. But there was no vacation planning chat. At least, not one that included me. Mom, I'm not in any vacation planning chat. Oh, just oh, like she'd just realized she'd forgotten to buy milk. Well, maybe there was a technical issue with adding you. A technical issue for 2 months. So let me get this straight, I said, and I could hear my voice getting sharp, could feel that familiar anger building up in my chest. You've all been planning our family vacation in a group chat that somehow, mysteriously, I wasn't added to. And then you all decided to leave a day early, without telling me, for a trip that I paid for. Sarah, honey, you're making this sound worse than it is. Am I? I was pacing now, my bare feet slapping against the cold hardwood floor. Because from where I'm sitting, it sounds like my family took my $15,000 and then ditched me. We didn't ditch you. We just... Look, you've been so stressed lately with work, and we thought maybe you needed some space. Some time to yourself. Time to myself. On Christmas. While they all enjoyed the vacation I'd paid for. And you made this decision for me, without asking me? We're family, Sarah. We look out for each other. That's when I heard it in the background. Laughter. Multiple voices, champagne glasses clinking, someone calling out about lunch reservations. They were having a party, a Christmas Eve party at a resort I'd booked, in rooms I'd paid for, probably drinking champagne I'd funded. Mom, I can hear everyone in the background. You're having a good time. Well, yes, it's Christmas Eve. We're trying to make the best of the situation that you created. Sarah, you're being unreasonable. And there it was, the magic word, unreasonable. I was being unreasonable for being upset that my family had stolen my Christmas and my money in one fell swoop. I have to go, Mom. Sarah, wait. I hung up. Then I did something I probably should have done months ago. I opened my laptop and started going through my bank statements, really going through them. Not just glancing at the numbers, but actually looking at what I'd been paying for. $15,500 for this trip. Okay, I knew that one. But there was more. Thanksgiving at the mountain cabin, $2,300. I'd paid for the rental, the groceries, even the wine. Easter brunch at that fancy resort, $1,800. Just this once, Sarah, because you know how much Mom loves their buffet. Mom's 60th birthday party, $900. We want to make it really special for her. Jake's bachelor party weekend, $1,200. Come on, sis, you know I'm broke right now. Emma's baby shower, $600. You're going to be the best aunt, and aunts always go overboard. I kept scrolling, and the numbers kept adding up. 2 years of this. 2 years of being the family bank account. But here's the thing that really got me. In all those group photos, all those Facebook posts, all those Instagram stories about amazing family time and so blessed to have each other, I was always positioned at the edge, sometimes literally cut out of the frame. I pulled up Emma's Instagram. Her most recent story was from an hour ago. The whole family gathered around a massive Christmas tree in the resort lobby, everyone in matching red sweaters that someone had apparently coordinated without telling me. The caption read, "Finally, just family time without any drama." Without any drama. I screenshotted it. Then I went to Jake's Facebook. He'd posted a group photo from last night's arrival. 17 people piled into the lobby, all smiles and excitement. The caption, "When the whole crew finally gets together. Some people are just energy vampires, you know? So much better when it's just the people who actually want to be here." Energy vampires. I screenshotted that too. My phone buzzed. A text from Emma. "Sarah, stop being such a drama queen. We're all having a really nice time and you're ruining it with your negativity. This is exactly why we needed a break from you." A break from me. With my money. I was shaking now, but not from anger anymore. It was something colder than that. Something more calculating. I walked to my jewelry box and pulled out the Christmas ornament that my grandmother had given me before she passed away 3 years ago. It was hand-painted porcelain, delicate and beautiful, with the words, "Family First," written in gold script across a winter scene. Grandma Rose had been the one who taught me about family loyalty. "Sarah, sweetheart," she'd told me on her deathbed, "family is everything. They're the only ones who'll be there when everything else falls apart. You take care of them, and they'll take care of you." I held that ornament in my hands and felt something crack inside my chest. Not break. Crack. Like ice starting to split before it shatters completely. Because I had been taking care of them. For years. And where had it gotten me? Alone on Christmas Eve, holding an ornament that promised everything my family had just proved was a lie. My phone buzzed again. This time it was my cousin Michelle, who I'd always been close to. "Sarah, I'm so sorry about how this happened. We tried to tell them they should have talked to you first, but everyone said you'd probably say no anyway and ruin the whole trip." I'd probably say no and ruin the whole trip. To the trip I'd paid for. I set the ornament down carefully on my kitchen counter and opened my laptop again. But this time, I wasn't looking at bank statements. I was looking at something else entirely. The confirmation emails. All the booking confirmations. All the reservation numbers. All the account information. Everything was in my name. Everything was tied to my credit cards, my email address, my phone number, which meant everything was under my control. I picked up my phone and started scrolling through those 103 missed calls. Most of them were from the last 2 hours, but some were from yesterday, some were from 3 days ago. They'd been trying to reach me for days, probably because something had gone wrong with the reservations, or they needed access to something, or the resort required confirmation from the person who'd made the booking. They needed me. Even after ditching me, even after cutting me out, even after spending months planning a vacation without me while spending my money. They still needed me. And that's when I realized something that changed everything. I didn't need them. I looked at that ornament again, at those words, family first, that had guided every decision I'd made for the past 3 years. Every time I'd said yes when I wanted to say no. Every time I'd written a check I couldn't afford. Every time I'd put their happiness ahead of my own financial security. Family first. But what if your family doesn't put you first? What if your family doesn't even put you second or third or anywhere on the list at all? What if your family puts you last but puts your money first? I picked up the ornament and walked to my kitchen sink. For a moment, I just held it there, remembering Grandma Rose's face when she gave it to me, remembering all the Christmas mornings when this ornament hung on our tree and everything felt warm and safe and right. Then I thought about last night. While I was at home, alone, wrapping presents for 17 people who were already at a resort having a party they'd planned without me. While I was double-checking my packing list and setting my alarm for our planned departure time, they were toasting champagne and probably laughing about how they'd managed to escape the energy vampire. The ornament fell from my hands and shattered against the bottom of the sink. Pieces of porcelain scattered like snow, and the gold script cracked right through the word family. And you know what? I felt lighter. My phone rang again. Mom, for the 4th time in an hour. This time I answered. Sarah, thank goodness. Listen, we're having a little issue with the spa reservations, and they need to verify some information with the person who booked. Mom, I said quietly. What, honey? I want you to think very carefully about what you're asking me right now. I'm not asking you anything unreasonable, Sarah. It's just a simple verification. You're asking me to help you access services at a resort where you're all having a lovely family vacation that you deliberately excluded me from. Silence. You're asking me to help you enjoy amenities that I paid for while you tell your social media followers how much better everything is without the drama and energy vampires. Sarah, that's exactly what this is, Mom. You want my money, but you don't want me. I could hear voices in the background, urgent whispers. Someone was telling her what to say. Honey, we just thought you needed some space to work on yourself. Sometimes when people are going through a difficult time, they can bring negative energy to family gatherings. Work on myself. Negative energy. What difficult time am I going through, Mom? Well, with your job stress and you've seemed unhappy lately. I laughed, and it came out sounding bitter even to my own ears. I wonder why I've seemed unhappy. Let me think. Could it be because I'm financially supporting 17 adults who treat me like I'm the problem in their lives? That's not fair, Sarah. What's not fair is that I just found out you've all been planning this vacation for months without me while expecting me to pay for it. What's not fair is that you drove up here without telling me and then called it a technical issue. What's not fair is that my brother just posted on Facebook calling me an energy vampire while sitting in a hotel room I'm paying for. Another long pause. Look, sweetheart, we can talk about all of this when we get back. Right now, can you just help us with the spa thing? Everyone's really looking forward to it. Everyone except me. No, Mom, I can't help you with that. What do you mean you can't? It's just a phone call. I mean I won't. Sarah, you're being petty. And there it was again. First unreasonable, now petty. Any word but honest. Any word but right. I'm being petty, I repeated slowly, for refusing to help you access spa services at a vacation you excluded me from. We didn't exclude you. We just left early. Without telling me, after planning for months in a group chat I wasn't part of. There were communication issues. For 2 months? I could hear her getting flustered, could hear other voices getting louder in the background. Someone was arguing with someone else. Someone was saying this was all getting out of hand. Mom, I need to ask you something, and I want you to be honest with me. Of course. If I hadn't paid for this trip, would you have invited me? The silence stretched so long I thought she'd hung up. Sarah, that's not a fair question. It's a simple question, Mom. If I couldn't afford to pay for everyone's vacation, would I be in Aspen right now? That's that's not how we think about these things. But that's exactly how you think about these things. That's exactly how you've been thinking about these things for years. I could hear Dad's voice in the background. Just tell her we'll pay her back and get the spa information. They'd pay me back, like they'd paid me back for Thanksgiving or Easter or Mom's birthday or Jake's bachelor party or Emma's baby shower. Sarah, your father says we'll pay you back for everything. We just need you to help us with this one little thing. One little thing. I walked back to the kitchen sink and looked down at the broken pieces of that ornament. Family first, shattered into a dozen sharp fragments. Mom, I want you to listen to me very carefully. I'm listening. I'm not helping you with anything. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever again. Sarah, you don't mean that. I absolutely mean that. And Mom, there's something else you should know. What? I took a deep breath and smiled for the first time all morning. I'm about to make some phone calls of my own. I hung up on Mom and sat there for a moment, staring at my laptop screen. The cursor was blinking in the search bar, waiting. My hands were steady now, steadier than they'd been all morning. It's funny how clarity can calm you down, even when you're about to blow up your entire family. The first thing I did was pull up every single email confirmation from the past 2 months. Hotel reservations, flight bookings, car rentals, restaurant reservations, spa appointments, ski lift tickets, even the damn Christmas Eve dinner at the resort's 5-star restaurant that seated 20 people. Everything was there, all in my name, all tied to my credit cards, all requiring my authorization for any changes. I took screenshots of everything, every confirmation number, every cancellation policy, every phone number I'd need to call. Then I opened a new document and started making a list of exactly what I'd paid for because I had a feeling I was going to need these numbers later. Hotel, $8,500 for 7 rooms, 5 nights each. Flights, $4,200 for 17 round-trip tickets from Denver to Aspen car rentals. $1,800 for 4 SUVs. Pickup and return at the airport restaurant reservations. $900 for Christmas Eve dinner, Christmas brunch, and 2 other group meals. Spa appointments, $600 for various treatments everyone had requested ski packages. $500 for lift tickets and equipment rentals for those who wanted to ski miscellaneous activities. $800 for snowshoeing, ice skating, and some wine tasting thing Emma had insisted on. Total, $15,500. $15,500 that I'd put on my credit cards because everyone would pay me back. And it's just easier to keep track if one person handles everything. But here's what really got me as I was going through these emails. I found the group chat. Not because I was added to it, but because Jake, my brilliant brother Jake, had forwarded me a message from it 3 weeks ago when he needed me to add his girlfriend to the flight reservation. He'd forwarded it without thinking, and there it was in my email, a screenshot of the Aspen Family Trip 2023 group chat. 23 people in that chat. Every adult family member, including some cousins I barely talk to. Everyone except me. I scrolled through the visible messages in that screenshot, and my stomach dropped. This wasn't just planning logistics. This was a full conversation about me. Emma, should we tell Sarah about the early departure plan? Mom, I think it's better if we just go. You know how she gets when things change. Jake, honestly, I'm looking forward to a drama-free vacation for once. Cousin Michelle, that feels kind of mean. She is paying for everything. Dad, she always makes these trips about her somehow. Remember Thanksgiving? Aunt Carol, maybe this will teach her that she can't buy her way into everything. Buy my way into everything. My own family thought I was trying to buy my way into their affection by paying for trips that they asked me to pay for. I kept reading, my hands shaking now, but for a different reason. Jake, if she doesn't know we're leaving early, she can't guilt trip us about it. Emma, and we won't have to listen to her complain about every little thing. Mom, sometimes tough love is necessary. She needs to learn that family isn't about money. Tough love. They thought abandoning me on Christmas Eve was tough love. But the message that really did it, the one that made something cold and sharp crystallize in my chest, was from my dad. Honestly, Sarah's been different since Grandma Rose died. She thinks that ornament makes her the family keeper or something. Maybe some time alone will help her remember her place. My place. My place in a family that I'd been financially supporting for 2 years. I saved that screenshot to my desktop and titled it Evidence. Then I started making phone calls. The first call was to the Aspen Grand Resort. "Good morning, Aspen Grand Resort. This is Jennifer speaking. How can I help you?" "Hi, Jennifer. This is Sarah Mitchell. I have a reservation confirmation number, AGR 2023-1247. I need to speak with someone about making some changes to my booking." "Of course, Ms. Mitchell. Let me pull up your reservation." "Oh my, this is quite a large group booking. 7 rooms for 5 nights, checking out December 26th. "That's correct. I need to discuss cancellation options." There was a pause. "Cancellation? Ma'am, your group checked in yesterday. Are you calling from the resort?" "No, I'm calling from Denver. I wasn't able to make the trip due to some unexpected family circumstances." Another pause, longer this time. "I see. Well, your cancellation policy varies by room type, but since you've already checked in, let me transfer you to our manager." 5 minutes later, I was talking to Mark, the guest services manager, who sounded appropriately concerned about my family emergency. "Ms. Mitchell, I'm so sorry to hear about your situation. Now, since the group has already checked in, we typically can't offer refunds for the nights already used, but given the circumstances, let me see what I can do." "Mark, I appreciate that. But I need you to understand something important. I booked these rooms, I paid for these rooms, and I'm the only authorized person on the account. The people currently in those rooms don't have my permission to be there." A very long pause. "Ma'am, are you saying you want to remove your family members from the hotel?" "I'm saying I want to cancel my reservation effective immediately, and I want anyone who isn't authorized on my account removed from the premises." "Ms. Mitchell, this is highly unusual. Have you discussed this with your family members?" "Mark, let me ask you something. If someone used your credit card to book a hotel room and then went to that hotel without you, what would you call that?" Another pause. I could hear typing in the background. I understand your concern. Let me pull up our policies on this type of situation. Can you hold for just a moment?" While I was on hold, I called the airline. That conversation was much simpler. "Hi, this is Sarah Mitchell, confirmation number DL7849JK. I need to report unauthorized use of my credit card for ticket purchases." "I'm sorry to hear that, Ms. Mitchell. Are you saying these tickets were purchased fraudulently?" "I'm saying that 17 tickets were purchased with my credit card by people who then traveled without me and without my knowledge or permission." "Ma'am, that does sound like potential fraud. Let me transfer you to our security department." Mark came back on the line while I was waiting for airline security. "Ms. Mitchell, I've spoken with our legal department, and given that you're the sole name on the reservation and the sole payment method, we can absolutely cancel your booking effective immediately. However, I need to inform you that this will result in the immediate departure of all guests currently in your rooms." "I understand that, Mark." "And the guests will need to find alternative accommodations?" "That's correct." "On Christmas Eve? In Aspen?" I looked at the broken ornament pieces still scattered in my sink. "Yes, Mark, on Christmas Eve. In Aspen." "Ms. Mitchell, I have to ask, have you considered the impact this might have on your family relationships?" I laughed, and it came out bitter. "Mark, my family relationships died the moment they decided to take a vacation without me using my money. All I'm doing is making it official." The cancellation process took 43 minutes. 43 minutes of hold music, transfers to managers, policy confirmations, and refund calculations. By the end of it, I was getting back $12,947 of my original $15,500. The hotel kept the rest as cancellation fees and charges for the one night they'd already used. The airline was easier, since I could prove the tickets were purchased without my knowledge. Thank you, secret group chat screenshots. They classified it as potential fraud and issued a full refund with a 24-hour processing time. My phone started ringing while I was on the call with the car rental company. Mom, again. I let it go to voicemail and kept talking to Budget Rent-A-Car about canceling 4 SUV reservations. By 10:30 a.m., I had canceled everything. The hotel, the flights, the cars, the restaurant reservations, the spa appointments, the ski packages, and even the wine tasting that Emma had been so excited about. Everything. Then I sat back in my chair and waited. I didn't have to wait long. 10:43 a.m. Text from Emma. Sarah, what the hell did you do? The hotel just called and said we have to leave? 10:44 a.m. Call from Jake. I declined it. 10:45 a.m. Text from Mom. Sarah Louise Mitchell, you call me right now. 10:46 a.m. Call from Dad. Declined. 10:47 a.m. Text from Jake. You're out of your goddamn mind. Do you know what hotels cost in Aspen on Christmas Eve? 10:48 a.m. Text from Aunt Carol. This is the most selfish thing I've ever seen anyone do. 10:49 a.m. Call from Mom again. Declined again. 10:50 a.m. Text from Emma. The front desk is being really nice, but they said we have until noon to pack up and leave. Sarah, there are no other hotels. It's Christmas Eve. I made myself a cup of coffee and read through the messages as they poured in. The panic was starting to set in for them, and I found that I felt nothing. No guilt, no regret, no desire to fix it. Actually, that's not true. I felt relief. At 11:15, my phone rang again. This time it was Michelle, my cousin, who'd actually seemed sorry about the situation. I answered. Sarah, please tell me you didn't actually kick everyone out of the hotel. I canceled my reservations, Michelle, that's all. On Christmas Eve? They left me on Christmas Eve first. Sarah, this is insane. There are kids here. My 8-year-old is crying because she doesn't understand why we have to leave our vacation. And there it was. The guilt trip I'd been expecting. Michelle, let me ask you something. When you all decided to plan this vacation without me, did anyone think about how an 8-year-old might feel when she found out her cousin was deliberately excluded from the family Christmas? That's different. How is it different? Because you're an adult. So you're saying adults don't deserve to be treated with basic respect by their families? That's not what I'm saying. So then what are you saying, Michelle? Because from where I'm sitting, it sounds like you're saying it's okay to steal my money and exclude me from my own family as long as it doesn't inconvenience anyone else. Silence. Sarah, I tried to stick up for you. I really did. I saw the group chat, Michelle. More silence. Jake forwarded me a screenshot 3 weeks ago. I've seen the whole conversation about how I'm too dramatic and how this trip would be better without me and how I think I can buy my way into everything. Sarah, I've seen the messages about tough love and teaching me my place. So please don't tell me you stuck up for me when you were part of a 23-person group chat dedicated to planning a vacation without me while using my money. I could hear her crying now. We didn't mean for it to happen like this. How did you mean for it to happen, Michelle? Did you think I just wouldn't notice that my entire family had disappeared? Did you think I'd just accept being abandoned on Christmas and say, oh, well, at least they're having fun with my $15,000? We thought maybe you'd use the time to relax, to think about how you've been lately. How I've been lately. How have I been lately, Michelle? You've been difficult. Difficult how? You always want to control everything when we do family stuff. You get upset when things don't go according to your plans. I laughed out loud. Michelle, I want to control things because I'm the one paying for them. When you spend $15,000 on something, you generally want to have a say in how it goes. But that's what I mean. You make everything about money. I make everything about money because you make everything about my money. When's the last time someone else paid for a family gathering, Michelle? When's the last time someone else coordinated a family trip? Silence. That's what I thought. At 11:47, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Ms. Mitchell, this is Mark from the Aspen Grand Resort. I wanted to call you personally because we've had some developments. What kind of developments? Well, your family members are understandably upset about the cancellation. A few of them have become quite vocal with our staff. I'm sorry to hear that, Mark. One of them, I believe your brother, has insisted that there's been some kind of mistake. He's demanding to speak with our manager about the illegal cancellation of rooms that he says he paid for. I smiled. And what did you tell him? I told him that all reservation changes must be authorized by the person whose name and credit card are on the booking, which is you. That's correct. Ms. Mitchell, I have to tell you, in my 15 years in hospitality, I've never seen anything quite like this. Your brother has threatened to call the police. Your mother has offered to pay our cancellation fees 3 times over if we'll just let them stay, and your father has accused us of participating in some kind of conspiracy against your family. Mark, I want you to know that if any of my family members are being abusive to your staff, you have my full permission to call security or the police. They have no legal right to those rooms. I appreciate that, Ms. Mitchell. Actually, that's part of why I'm calling. Your mother has asked if it would be possible for you to speak with her directly. She says there's been a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Mark, can you put her on the phone? Of course, hold on just a moment. There was some shuffling, some muffled conversation, and then Mom's voice, tight with barely controlled panic. Sarah, honey, please, we need to talk about this. We are talking about it, Mom. Not over the phone. This is family business. Can you please just drive up here so we can work this out in person? No, Mom. Sarah, there are 17 people here, including children. Some of these people drove 8 hours to be here. You can't just abandon family like this. I looked again at those broken pieces in my sink. You're right, Mom. You can't just abandon family like this. What's that supposed to mean? It means you abandoned me first. You abandoned me when you made that group chat without me. You abandoned me when you planned a vacation for months without including me. You abandoned me when you drove away without telling me. And you abandoned me when you called me an energy vampire on social media while sitting in a hotel I was paying for. We never called you. I have screenshots, Mom. Silence. I have screenshots of the group chat where Dad said I needed to learn my place, where Jake called me a drama queen, where Emma said the trip would be better without me, where you said tough love was necessary. I could hear her breathing, sharp and shallow. Those messages. They weren't meant for you to see. No, Mom. They were meant for everyone except me to see, which is exactly the problem. Sarah, please, we can work this out. We can all sit down and talk about this like adults. We can't work this out, Mom, because this isn't a misunderstanding or a communication issue. This is exactly what you all intended to happen. That's not true. Mom, you planned for 2 months to take a vacation without me while using my money. That doesn't happen by accident. I could hear voices in the background, urgent whispers, people giving her instructions on what to say. Sarah, if you'll just let us stay for Christmas, we can talk about paying you back for everything. We can set up a payment plan. A payment plan. Like they'd set up for Thanksgiving and Easter and Mom's birthday and every other time they'd promised to pay me back. Mom, I need you to listen to me very carefully. I'm listening. I want you to think about something. Right now, you're standing in a hotel lobby on Christmas Eve, panicking because you don't have anywhere to stay and you can't afford to fix it yourselves. Sarah, I want you to think about how scared and helpless you feel right now. I want you to think about how it feels to have no control over your situation and no way to solve your problem. Please don't do this. That's how I felt this morning when I woke up and realized my family had stolen Christmas from me. We didn't steal anything. You stole my Christmas, Mom. You stole my money, you stole my vacation, and you stole my family. And now you want me to give you more. I could hear her crying now, and I felt nothing. No urge to comfort her, no desire to fix it, no guilt about her tears. Sarah, we're family. No, Mom, a family doesn't do what you did to me. What you did to me is what strangers do. What you did to me is what enemies do. You don't mean that. I absolutely mean that. And Mom? What? The next time you want to plan a family vacation, you should probably make sure you can afford it without the family member you're planning to exclude. I hung up. At 12:15 p.m., I got a text from Jake. I hope you're happy. We're driving home. Christmas is ruined. I replied, Christmas was already ruined when you decided to celebrate it without me. At 12:43 p.m., Emma sent me a long message about how I'd destroyed everyone's faith in family, how I'd traumatized the children, how I'd embarrassed the whole family in front of the hotel staff, and how she'd never forgive me for this. I replied, Good. At 1:22 p.m., Dad called and left a voicemail saying that I was no longer welcome at family gatherings until I learned how to behave like an adult and apologized to everyone for my tantrum. I deleted it without listening to the whole thing. But at 2:30 p.m., something different happened. My phone rang, and it was my grandmother's old neighbor, Mrs. Patterson. She was 93 years old and had been like a second grandmother to me growing up. "Sarah, honey, I hope you don't mind me calling. I got your number from your mother a few months ago when I wanted to send you a thank you card for the flowers you sent when I was in the hospital." "Of course I don't mind, Mrs. Patterson. How are you feeling?" "Oh, much better, dear. But I'm not calling about me. I'm calling because I just got off the phone with your mother, and she told me what happened today." My heart sank. I didn't need a 93-year-old woman lecturing me about family forgiveness. "Mrs. Patterson, I know how it sounds, but—" "Honey, stop right there. I called to tell you that I'm proud of you." I blinked. "You're— what?" "I said I'm proud of you. It's about time someone in your family learned that treating people badly has consequences." I sat down hard in my kitchen chair. "Mrs. Patterson, Sarah, I watched your grandmother worry about your family for years. She used to tell me how concerned she was that they were taking advantage of your generous heart. She said you reminded her of herself when she was young, always giving, always trying to hold everyone together, always putting everyone else's needs first. She never told me that." "Of course she didn't. Rose was from a generation that believed you didn't air family business. But she saw what was happening, honey. She saw them using you, and it broke her heart." I was crying now, the first tears I'd shed all day. "She used to say that ornament she gave you was both a blessing and a curse. A blessing because it meant you understood what family should be, and a curse because it meant you'd keep trying to create that kind of family even when the people around you didn't deserve it." I looked at the broken pieces still scattered in my sink. "Mrs. Patterson, I broke the ornament." "Good," she said firmly. "It's time for you to make your own definition of family, sweetheart. The kind where people actually care about you, not just your bank account." After I hung up with Mrs. Patterson, I sat in my kitchen for a long time, thinking about what she'd said. About Grandma Rose's concerns, about the ornament being both a blessing and a curse, about making my own definition of family. At 5:47 p.m., my phone rang one more time. It was Michelle again. "Sarah, I need to tell you something." "Okay." "We made it back to Denver. Everyone's mad and upset and saying they'll never speak to you again." "Okay." "But Sarah, I've been thinking about what you said, about the group chat and about how we treated you." I waited. "You were right. We did plan this without you on purpose, and we did talk about you like you weren't really part of the family, and we did expect you to pay for everything while treating you like you were the problem." "Yes, you did. And I'm sorry. I'm really, truly sorry. Not because you canceled the trip, but because we made you feel like you had to. It was the first real apology I'd gotten all day." "Thank you, Michelle." "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "What are you going to do now?" I looked around my apartment. It was quiet and peaceful, and mine. For the first time in years, I had a Christmas Eve with no obligations, no family drama, no pressure to be anything other than exactly who I was. "I'm going to order Chinese food and watch Christmas movies," I said, "and tomorrow I'm going to start figuring out what my life looks like when I'm not responsible for everyone else's happiness." "That sounds nice, actually." "It does, doesn't it?" After I hung up, I did exactly what I'd told Michelle I would do. I ordered way too much Chinese food, put on Love Actually, and settled in for a quiet Christmas Eve. But first, I did one more thing. I went to my computer and logged into my bank account to check on those refunds. $12,847 had already been deposited from the hotel. The airline refund would take another day or two. Then, I opened a new browser tab and searched for Christmas Donation Opportunities Denver. I found a local shelter that was serving Christmas dinner to homeless families. They were asking for donations to help provide gifts for the children who would be staying there over the holidays. I donated $2,500. Then I found a food bank that was putting together Christmas meal packages for families in need. I donated another $2,500. Then I found an organization that helped single mothers pay for emergency expenses during the holidays. Another $2,500. In 30 minutes, I'd donated more money than my family had ever paid me back for anything, and for the first time all day, I felt genuinely happy. As I was settling in with my lo mein and Hugh Grant, my phone buzzed with one final text. It was from a number I didn't recognize. "Hi, Sarah. This is Jennifer from the Aspen Grand Resort. Mark asked me to reach out. We wanted you to know that after your family left, several of our staff members mentioned how impressed they were with how you handled a difficult situation. We've actually never seen someone stand up for themselves quite like that. We hope you have a wonderful Christmas." I smiled and typed back, "Thank you. I'm having the best Christmas Eve I've had in years." And I meant it. At 11:58 p.m., as I was getting ready for bed, I walked back to the kitchen sink and looked at the broken pieces of Grandma Rose's ornament one more time. Family first. But the first crack had gone right through the word family, leaving first intact. Maybe that was exactly right. Maybe it was time to put myself first for once. I carefully picked up the pieces and threw them away. Then I made myself a promise. Next Christmas, I'd buy myself a new ornament, one that said something different, something like self-respect first, or boundaries first, or maybe just Sarah first, because I'd finally learned something my grandmother couldn't teach me. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for your family is refuse to let them treat you badly, even if it means spending Christmas alone, especially if it means spending Christmas alone.